Most people know they need a retirement plan, and most people don't have one. It's not because they're irresponsible. It's not because they don't care. It's because something about sitting down with the actual numbers, it feels like the moment the music stops. As long as you haven't looked, the news could still be good. That's not a character flaw. That's just being human. But here's the thing about not looking. The number doesn't change. Your situation doesn't get better just because you didn't open the document. It just gets closer. Today, we're going to be opening that document together. I've got the Brain Flash Retirement Reality Check right here. And by the time this video ends, you're going to have walked through every single section of it with me, not alone, together. So here's what I've learned from the thousands of people who have watched this channel. Most of you already know the basics of retirement math. You know Social Security exists. You know the 4% rule. You know that expenses matter. You know you should have a plan. Knowing all of that and not acting on it, well, that's where retirement plans, they fall apart. Because knowledge without action, it has a cost. Every year you delay understanding your real number is a year you may be oversaving, overworking, or overworrying, or under-preparing for something that was fixable if you had just looked. That paralysis, it isn't laziness, it's fear. And the answer to fear is not more information. The answer to fear is a plan and then action. That's what this worksheet is. It's not a test. It's not a verdict. It's a plan. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the complete Brain Flash Retirement Reality Check, every section, every line, so that by the time you finish this video, you'll know exactly where you stand. Not approximately, not kind of, sort of, not roughly, exactly. And I'm going to show you something that worksheet is going to reveal that almost nobody talks about. The one place where retirees consistently underestimate their expenses by 20 to 30%. If you get that one number wrong, everything else in the plan is wrong. We're going to help you get it right. Now, before we start, if you want to follow along, drop your email over at brainflash.com and the PDF comes straight to your inbox. Print it out, grab a pen, or open it on your phone. Look, this works best when your numbers are actually in it, not mine. Step one is your monthly income in retirement. This is where most people start, and most people start too low. Their first line is Social Security. Do you know your actual estimated benefit? Not a guess. Get the real number from ssa.gov. Look, if you haven't looked this up in the last 12 months, the number you have in your head is probably wrong. Your Social Security estimate, it changes every year you work. It also changes based on when you claim. And that decision alone could be worth $400 to $800 a month permanently. We'll cover that one fully as we have in another video. For today, go get the real number. If you have a spouse, their benefit goes on the second line. If you're single or widowed, you put a 0. The math doesn't change, but the options might. Pension, part-time income, rental income. Fill in every line that applies, even $500 a month in purposeful income. It can change the plan significantly. Don't skip a line just because the number feels small. Small numbers add up. Step two is your retirement savings. This is where the dreaded 4% rule comes in. Here's the plain version. Whatever you have saved, multiply it by 4%, then divide by 12. That's the monthly income your savings can sustainably generate. So as an example, $300,000 in savings equates to approximately $1,000 a month. Now, not forever, sustainably, meaning the math on this has held up across historical market cycles. Add your 401k, your IRA, your Roth, your brokerage accounts, your cash savings. However, do not include your emergency fund. That money, it's not retirement income. That money is insurance. Run the math, write down the monthly income number, and carry it forward you're going to need it again in step 4. Now, step 3 is expenses. And this is where I need you to kind of pull back, take your foot off the gas, and slow down. This is a section where retirement plans most often fail. It's not because people are careless, but because they're optimistic. The worksheet says it plainly. Most retirees underestimate expenses by 20 to 30% in their first year. 20 to 30%. If your honest budget is $4,000 a month and you write down $3,200, your plan is already broken before you've even retired. So we're going to go through this section somewhat slowly. Housing first. If you still have a mortgage, put the real number, not just the payment. Property taxes, insurance, HOA fees, maintenance. Homes cost money to own even after they're paid off. Now, if you're still renting, take your current rental amount, project out to when you're going to retire. How does that rent increase every single year? Think about your rental history. If you need, the national average in year-over-year rental increase is 4%. Now, healthcare. This is the retirement wild card. Before Medicare at 65, health insurance can run $600 to $1,200 a month for a single person. Even after Medicare, supplements, prescriptions, dental, vision, and copays can add $500 a month or more. Do not leave this line blank. And here's where you have some homework. You're going to check your marketplace in your state for insurance. You may call a couple of agents and understand if you retire before 65 in Medicare, what would that insurance be like? Don't guess low. Everyday living expenses are next. Groceries, transportation, utilities. Put in the real numbers, not the numbers that you wish were true. Now, here's a section most financial worksheets skip. We call it the good stuff. Travel, experiences, hobbies, dining out, gifts to your grandchildren and to your family. This is not optional. This is kind of the point. If your retirement plan doesn't include the things that make retirement worth having, it's not a retirement plan. It's just a survival budget. And that's not what we're working on here. All right, last line in expenses, emergency and unexpected costs. Budget at least $200 to $400 a month because what? Life happens. And it happens more often in retirement than most people plan for. Add it all up. That's your total monthly expenses. Carry it forward. This is the brain flash 4. Social Security plus your savings draw minus your living expenses and any debt payments. Don't forget those debt payments equals your retirement number. A positive number means you're in great shape. You've got more coming in than going out. If you have a small gap, call it under $500, it means you're closer than you think. One modest income source can close that gap. Now, if you have a larger gap, you've got some real options. A gap isn't a starting point. It's not a verdict. Whatever your number is, I want you to see it because the Brain Flash 4 only has power when your actual numbers are in it. Not some hypothetical, not some theory, not an average, your numbers. Step 5 is your next move. The worksheet gives you a path forward based on where you landed. Surplus, review your Social Security claiming age. Delaying past 62 can permanently add $400 to $800 a month. If there's a small gap, explore $500 to $1,000 a month in purposeful income, consulting, part-time work, a skill. You know what? You've been working on for 30 years building up that skill set. If there's a larger gap, we'll be doing a video on different ways to drive income or reduce expenses, right, in your retirement. Options exist that you haven't even considered yet. The point is this, your number, it's the beginning. It's not the end. Here's what I know about people who never fill this out. They keep working longer than they want to. Not because they have to, but because they never found out that they didn't have to. They leave money on the table every month because they claim Social Security at the wrong time. And they spend retirement anxious. Not because their situation is bad, but because they never got the math that would have told them you're just fine. The cost of not doing this is paid in years, not in dollars. Years of working when you could have stopped. Years of worrying when you could have planned. Years with your family that, guess what, none of us ever gets back. If you are somewhere between 55 and 65 and you have not done this exercise, this video was made for you. Not for the person who has a financial advisor and a fully funded retirement account and nothing to worry about, but for the person who has been meaning to sit down with the numbers and keeps finding reasons not to. Drop your email over at brainflash.com and the retirement reality check, it comes straight to your inbox. Print it out. Sit down with your spouse or a friend or an adult child. Work through it together. This isn't a solo exercise. The people who actually do this, guess what? They usually do it with someone who will hold them accountable and keep them moving. Someone to keep them honest, keep them going and celebrate when the number is better than they thought. I want you to picture something. 6 months from now, you're sitting across from someone you care about. Maybe your spouse, maybe it's an adult child, maybe it's a friend who's been asking the same questions you've been avoiding. And you tell them, I know my number. I know what's coming in. I know what's going out. I know what I need to do next. That's not just financial clarity. That's the beginning of showing up differently for yourself. And for the people who are watching how you handle this, you did the work today. That matters. This is Brain Flash.